Alright, so I've gotten back to this point right here after dying. I'm gonna turn this down again. So, everybody has also been asking me my thoughts on the great spectacle last night that aired. That was the Final Deletion. Ugh. All I can say about that is Jim Cornette would have a field day and probably will have a field day. Anyway, so I mean it was good for what it was. Do I want to see that all the time in wrestling? No. See, the kick is okay. I got it. He's sliding down. He ain't even doing nothing. Yeah, it was good for what it was. I mean, it just. There's some very good things and very bad things about that. Did they tell a story like they said they were gonna? Yes. Was it a pro wrestling match? Probably not. Alright. Let's see if... Why am I not landing on that? I need the rings. Oh well. Ah! Anyway, I ain't gonna waste any more time on this because this stage is long. Did I like all the tomfoolery that went on with them? No, not all of it. Matt Hardy has gone into full-blown Sweeney Todd mode. And everybody's like, why is the white streak in his hair? Apparently they've never seen the Johnny Depp Sweeney Todd movie, because that's what that is from. So, and the fact that they had little Maxwell there, and they put a wig, either it's a wig on this baby or they've actually grown this poor kid's hair out to the point where they could put a white streak of hair in this baby, you know, in the baby's hair too. So, did I, let's face it here, people like Cornette and people like a Les Thatcher, they're going to rip this to shreds. And can I blame them? Really? No. Damn it. I can't blame them. Because everything that they probably have to say about this is correct. Ah, damn it. I knew they were down there too. Do I think that it deserves as much praise as it has been getting? No. And there's a big reason for that. I mean, if this would have went down in WWE, people would have been shitting all over it. Oh, it's WWE. But the fact is, it happened in TNA. So everybody and their mother is wanting them to succeed. I mean, I want them to succeed, even though everybody's... You ask TNA, why don't you want TNA to go out of business? And what's the number one answer people give? I don't want to see people out of work. Well, truth be told, they wouldn't be out of work. Shit. See, that's what happens when you hit that. Because TNA is nowhere near these guys' main source of income. The independent now, people like Bobby Lashley and all that, maybe, but people like Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett, people like Robbie E. even, they go on the indies and make their money. You know, so it's not their main source of income, but it probably does help. I'm going to pause this real quick. Because my room door just came open because of my cat. So this is where we got glitched. Right there. Shadow. Go outside, Shadow. Am I going backwards? But yeah, really, what can you say about that hasn't already been said? All the insiders loved the match. Everybody thought it was the best. To me, I think it was so stupid that it was funny. That's how I feel about it. They're so stupid that they're funny. And do I think this will save the company? Do I think it will bring them back? No, but why? Because you can't be doing this crap every week. All right, here we are, Robotnik or Eggman. I've been told a lot on Facebook. It's Eggman, Joe. You can jump up with him. 8. Now, normally, you would go in here and go to this platform and fight. I believe it is the same boss that is at the end of the Flying Battery Zone, which we will see later. But Knuckles here, boop. Whoa! Like I said earlier in part 1, the game tells a story. And it tells it very well. Without needing cheesy voice acting like you have today. Without needing a comic. Well, it did have a comic book, but I don't think it coincided with this. Look at that version of Flames blasting off. And the 8-bit or is this 8-bit or 16? I think it's a 16-bit. Master System was the 8-bit. See? Okay, you do fight a boss here, okay. But we have enough rings. You actually fight 2 different bosses here. If you are in the just the Sonic 3. There you go, because your rings don't change over, you can still, if you have over 50, you can still morph in and hit the guy. But that is the last time for now that we will be seeing Super Sonic. Shutting my room door here. There's the Death Egg crashing down. And now we are into the Sonic and Knuckles stages. This is originally called Mushroom Valley. Sonic and Knuckles, I believe, came out 1 or 2 years after Sonic 3. These mushrooms you can bounce on. Ducking down here. Anybody out looking? Nope. Okay. Boom. What is Knuckles hiding? Now you can continue on with the rest of the stage if you want. Or... Bing. Ooh, it's glowing now, and if you notice when you get near this, your scores, rings, time, even your extra life thing down there glows along with it. Let's see what we do. Now this is where I'm going to save, because I will probably fail these. I haven't played these in a while. So all of our 7 emeralds are going out. We no longer have them. Instead, we got to go get the super emeralds. And let me save here over right. Yes. Alright. We're going to work from left to right. Now. Boing. I think I could get a perfect in this one. I usually don't try to. Boing. Now if you notice, Probably not going to get a perfect here. With 50 rings, though, or 100 rings. There they are. No. Where are those last 6? There they are. Now I would normally... See, you could get caught on these. Like that, damn it. Anyway. I would have come... This is going to end this part, I believe. We've been recording for 12 minutes. I'll stop here and give the... I am going to go back and get that emerald in the next part. I think we're going to go ahead and show you how it's done. But we'll do the jump cut, as it were. But I am going to go ahead and give you my thoughts here on the rest of this. The whole storyline has been good, and it has been the reason to watch TNA. And I'll admit, TNA kind of suckered me in last night, because I'm kind of curious now to see what's going to happen with Mike Bennett. When he said that he was going to take over Destination X, and when he said he was going to basically, you know, ruin the show. Billy Corgan, I like Billy Corgan's mic work. I'll be honest, I liked his mic work. Dixie Carter, I gotta agree with Jim Cornette on this. Dixie Carter's just a cunt who has no place in the wrestling business. Sorry to use that word. I hate using that word, but it's true. It's the way it describes Dixie Carter. She's a twat who just does not belong. So I think that, you know, I think that the segment was good for what it was. I liked the build up to it. Matt Hardy doing this goofy character. The drones. Everybody's talking about the drones. All the drones. And they had the special effects and everything like that. Well, first off, this thing was probably shot with like maybe 2 or 3 cameras. And from what I understand, it was shot by Jeremy Borash and maybe 2 cameramen. The drones and everything like that, with his head popping up out of the one drone broadcasting out of it, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, here's the thing you have to realize, though. This is probably a one-off for TNA when it comes to doing something like this, because they can't afford for production trucks to roll to Orlando. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it next week. The last set of tapings they had last month or a couple months back, you had the big kerfluffle where they had to rob Peter to pay Paul in order to get production trucks to even roll in Orlando. So it makes me wonder how they're going to pull it off this time. Where'd they get the money from this time? They're reaching out to, you know, they just, you know, there's a big rumor going around that they've made an offer to Moose from Ring of Honor. And I'm just sitting there going, they can't afford to get production trucks to hit Orlando to tape their TV, and they don't run house shows. But at the same time, they're trying to sign somebody. They're trying to sign one of the indie darlings, if you will, to a contract. And if anybody who has any contact with Moose, now I've seen Moose live and in person. I was at a my very first PWX show had Moose on it. As you hear me cleaning my glasses. Sorry, guys. I like Moose. He's a hell of an athlete. Hell of a worker. I believe with a little bit of polishing that he will not get in TNA. I believe with a little bit of a promo class, as it were, he has the potential to be something good. He has the potential to be something damn near great. Um, do I think that he will sign with TNA? They signed Caleb Connolly, for crying out loud, and that's a person who I never expected to go to TNA. They have people down there like Trevor Lee, who, let's be honest here, Trevor Lee, if he would have held out and not signed a contract with them, he probably would be in the Cruiserweight Classic right now. Same goes with Caleb Connolly. And Caleb Connolly, if anybody's ever seen his work, then whether it be with CZ or Evolve or Paragon Pro Wrestling when they had their deal on Pop TV, if anybody knows Caleb Connolly, they know that he has the mic work and he has the in-ring work. So, but why these guys, that's why I say everybody goes, well, if TNA goes out of work, all these guys are going to lose their jobs. Well, you know what? It's not like they're making a ton of money working for TNA. If I'm Moose and I knew that maybe WWE doesn't want Moose. So if I'm Moose, I'm staying with Ring of Honor because that's at least guaranteed money. On-time payment. TNA can't even afford to roll production trucks. How can they afford to pay their wrestlers? How can they afford to sign new wrestlers? And as far as Caleb Connolly goes, they signed him. I didn't see him on Impact last night. If he was there, let me know. Last night was probably the first edition of Impact that I watched in about maybe 3-4 years. And I'll be honest with you. I fell asleep right after the Mike Bennett and Dixie Carter promo. And woke up just as the referee was saying, hey, let's get it on in the Final Deletion. I love how Matt Hardy's delete. I guess exterminate would have cost him too much money to say. But with Jeff Hardy being gone, somebody says, I've heard rumors that he needs knee surgery. So is this their way of writing him out of the storylines till he goes and gets his knee surgery? Some have said that, Jeff Hardy's coming back to WWE. Is this a way for him to go back to WWE? Of course, he is under contract with TNA. But let's face it, all they got to do is go to a judge and be like, look, they got me under contract, but they can't afford to pay me. So why shouldn't I seek out work elsewhere? I don't... It damn sure wasn't a wrestling match. Did the whole Final Deletion thing tell a story? Yes. Is that what wrestling is supposed to do above all else is to tell a story? Yes. If it wasn't for the ring being there, if they would have came out there, just walked out in the middle of a field and started beating the crap out of each other, I don't think it would have had the same effect. A lot of people are asking, do they really need a ring there? Yes. I tell you what, though, that ring is about as indie as you could get. You could definitely tell that was one of their Omega rings that they were using. But yeah, it was what it was. Do I want to see that every day? No. Do I think that the wrestling business is going to be dramatically changed for this? No. Do I think TNA's business is going to be changing? No. Do I think they're going to pop a rating off of it? Yes. Do I think it's going to stick around? No. So, for me, it's very, very much a double-edged sword as to, did it work? Did it not work? Does it have long-term effect? Does it not have the same effect? I'm going to try to see if I could put an image up here of the drone. Let's see here if I can put this up here. There you go. There's Jeff Hardy at the bottom, and there's a drone. This was an actual drone, and they digitally put him in here going, Brother Nero, all that crap. Which to me, you know, that's another thing. If I was in a blood feud with a guy, and he just happened to be my brother, and I hated him this much that I wanted to see him erased from existence, the last thing I would call him is brother. Why not just call him Nero? Or Jeffy. Something to that effect, Jeffy. But anyway, that's, I don't have a, was it good? No. Was it bad? No. It's a very much thumbs in the middle thing for me, as far as whether you need to, I mean, do you need to go out of your way to see it, to judge for yourself? Yes. But I don't think this is something that people are going to be, you know, writing in the history, you know, for if from 10 years from now we get the Wrestling Trivial Pursuit edition, I don't think this will be one of the answers to any of the questions or even a question in there. Do I think it's going to save the company? No. To me, this is two brothers, as Jim Cornette would put it, it's two brothers going in there, setting up a ring in their backyard because Dixie Carter doesn't want her wrestling spoiled, first of all. Second of all, she can't afford really the big production to do something like this. There's no way they could have pulled something off at Universal Studios like this. Did Matt and Jeff probably pay for everything with their own money as far as production? Yes. TNA, I seriously doubt that TNA really funded much of this. But to me, it's two brothers who probably either don't want to go back to WWE yet or WWE doesn't want them. But it's two brothers using the two dogs fucking on the side of the road principle to pop a rating. That's all it was. Well, Joe, can't you just enjoy it? Why you gotta be a damn stupid Mark? Why you gotta pick apart everything? You're not in there. Well, it's because, you know what? It's about time somebody picks apart that company and shoots their mouth off for what it really is. Stupid Mark, it's not your place. You don't pay TNA any money. Well, you got me there because I don't. If the company died from tomorrow, half the wrestlers under contract would probably be saying free at last. And you'd probably be seeing half of them the very next week down in Orlando at the Performance Center. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for this Let's Play. Let me know what you think about the final deletion in the comments below. And that's another thing that don't make sense. The Mexican gardener they're sitting there, you know, he gives him a Russian leg sweep into this lake. And then Will-O-the-Wisp, who is Jeff Hardy's superhero alternate whatever goth crazy ass character, comes and attacks Matt Hardy. And then the Mexican gardener comes up and gives him a taser shot. He tases Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy's electrocuted and he goes down. The Mexican gardener runs off. And then they do a jump cut. And it's like, now the Mexican gardener, Matt takes the mask off Willow, and it's the Mexican gardener in the Willow costume, in the Willow outfit, under the mask. And it's like, didn't you just tase him 10 seconds ago? That made no sense to me. And that's the thing that everybody's talking about. That's the big swerve of it all, is the gardener. It makes no sense. Again, two dogs fucking on the side of the road to pop a rating. That's all it was. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. We'll see you next time when I am going to go ahead and try to get that other emerald. And we'll continue on with Mushroom Hill. Mushroom Hill, the very first part of this game is very much like Sonic 3. You can get the other 7 emeralds before you get to the third stage. Actually, the third stage. So we will see you guys down the road.